This is part 3 of 3 of our interview with Mr. Clydesdale and Jaden.
After a fitting, like we said, and it's going to be great.
Clydesdale didn't say anything about this, but he's not just the commissioner of Sideshow Pro. He is a sanctioned referee. He's actually sanctioned by the National Wrestling Alliance as an official.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's not just somebody who wants to put himself in. He's a very good, competent official. Blind isn't bad. That makes him a good referee.
Well, I'm not in the NFL. Okay, I'm not an NFL ref. All right. I'm actually good. I call it down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Yeah. If I can see it, that's it. If it's in my view.
Yes. According to his face, but still.
Yeah.
Well, now the Millville show, that's going to be in the Starbound Gymnastics Academy?
Yes.
I believe that's the name of it?
Yeah, Starbound Academy.
Actually in Millville, or is it Bridgeton?
I think it's like right on the borderline.
Just outside of Vineland. If you're in Vineland, it's right on the edge of town. You'll find it, if you Google it, it's easy to find. It's
but the best way to get it though is go on the Facebook, Sideshow Pro. It has the address of the show, and it has a telephone number and exactly how much the tickets are and everything. So, I mean, that's your best bet for right now. Because in pro wrestling, Jaden will agree with me, nothing's ever set in stone until that bell goes. Because you never know what's going to happen. But for right now, it's right on the borderline of Millville and Bridgeton at Star Academy. So go to Facebook, Sideshow Pro, and look it up.
So you heard from Mr. Clydesdale himself. Go to sideshowpro.com and he'll give you all the information you need. So I just want to talk a little bit about how you got started in the wrestling business.
Well,
he was
funny.
Well, how did you become interested in wrestling?
That's funny. It was actually, I've been in the business 7 years exactly this month, to be the funny thing. Actually, the funny story is how I got into wrestling is my mom would take me and my 3 older sisters every Saturday morning when she would do her hair and makeup, would sit us in the TV room and make us watch WWF Superstars.
Wow.
And watch Andre the Giant. And my mom was absolutely in love with Andre the Giant. That's the only reason she watched wrestling was because of Andre the Giant. And
7'4", 500 pounds.
Yeah.
The 8th wonder of the world. And Clydesdale's nickname is the 1/8 wonder of the world.
Oh.
So she would sit us down every Saturday morning and she would force my sisters to watch it. She didn't have to force me to watch it. I was hooked immediately. As soon as I saw these larger-than-life athletes going after each other, wow, you had Ted DiBiase. You had the Big Boss Man, the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and my all-time favorite, Macho Man. Oh yeah! Rest in peace. But it was just, I was just in awe watching these guys go on the top ropes and flying, and unlike now where every other move is a high spot. Back then, they didn't do it all the time. It was very rare. They would go up there and that would be their finisher. Now you have a guy like Jeff Hardy that's on the rope every other move, so it doesn't really mean anything. Back then it actually meant something. And so I've been hooked ever since. So I'm 28 now, so I've been watching since maybe 26 years.
I started watching it in the late 70s. I was probably 15 or 16. And what I was amazed at is we would see these guys week after week, but you wouldn't think that after taking that count, they were like superheroes to me.
Oh yeah.
I'd see the Masked Superstar, the Fabulous Freebirds, or Kevin Sullivan, or Ted DiBiase, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Michael P.F. Hayes. He's one of those other guys that is underrated. And he was a good worker, but what got him over more than anything was his swagger, his whole personality and everything like that. And Gordy was one of my favorites.
Oh, yes.
He was my favorite. Out of the Freebirds, he was my favorite. Because he was the muscle. He was just going there and beat the living daylights out of him.
I saw him, one of the best matches I ever saw was probably Terry Gordy versus Rick Martel in the Tropicana in Atlantic City. They were taping for ESPN, AWA stuff.
Yeah.
And this was the mid-'80s. But yeah, Terry Gordy was...
He was great. He was another great
one. The third one, Buddy Roberts.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I always loved him. He was the guy who took the beating usually, but...
Interesting story. When Bill Watts put Buddy Roberts with him, he thought because he was the veteran that he was going to bring these young guys, these young party animals in and make them more calm and respectful and everything else. So they thought, oh great, we got a narc on our hands, you know, we'll never be able to do anything. So as soon as Buddy Roberts comes in, he's like, so, where's the Jack? Shows up, out drinks both of them under the table.
Yeah.
After that, they absolutely love Buddy Roberts.
Yeah.
Well, there was quite a chemistry between them, and later Jimmy Garvin comes in.
Yep.
I was just watching the Bad Street, was it USA?
Yeah.
Bad Street USA,
Yeah.
and Jimmy Garvin has a little cameo when he turns.
Yeah. Yeah, and Baby Doll.
Was she ever part of that?
No,
Baby Doll.
they had the storyline.
It was Precious.
Yeah, oh, Precious. That's right.
Before that, it was Sunshine.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right. But it was great. I mean, you know, wrestling has changed so much from now than what it was. I mean, obviously it has to, because if you don't change with the times, it's not going to get, you know, over. And I hate to say that, because to me, when I watch the wrestling, I don't get excited like I used to, but also, Jay will agree with me, once you get into the business, it ruins watching it. Because you know the trades and you know so many different things now.
But it becomes more of an art for you as a
Oh yeah, yeah. And the thing is, you appreciate them that much more because you know what they have to go through and everything. Like in training, when I was trained, you know, I was trained by Vinny the Fixer, Big Angel, or Angel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And of course, the great underrated Tommy Force. Which Tommy, you got to get back into it.
Yes, find your smile.
You got to find it. It's a little inside joke. You know, I had these great guys that taught me these things, and one of them, Vinny, he goes in a hiatus every once in a while. He'll go away, then he comes back, goes away, comes back. But he is another great guy that has a great talent for the business, but it goes, you know how you like some food and you'll go on a binge on it and then you stop because you get sick of it?
Yeah,
that's kind of like the wrestling for Vinny. Like, he'll go into it, be great, everything like that, then he'll disappear for a little bit and then he'll come back again. So it's a shame because he's such a great talent. He really is. He was actually the very first guy I ever managed, was Vinny the Fixer, and he was the very first guy I managed to a title. This was the Jersey State title in Devastation Wrestling Federation.
Okay.
And he was probably one of my favorite guys I've ever worked with to this day. He was, and we bounced off each other so well. That was another good thing. We had such a good chemistry with each other. And that's very hard to find in the business, where a worker will be able to work with a manager so well and everything like that, because sometimes they're on two different pages and everything. Like, sometimes a manager would want to outshine, he doesn't mean to, but he'll outshine the performer in the ring. When really, they're not paying to see the manager, they're paying to see the talent that's in the ring. So, but Vinny stole the show every time he was out there. He was great. He was good. We bounced off with each other.
Especially when he made an ass of himself.
Vinny would have times in the match where his butt would fly out and he would act like he didn't know and everything. It was a good comedy spot that he had that he liked to use in every match.
He was getting cheeky.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Well, I remember you managing in Force 1
Yeah.
here in Egg Harbor Township. I'd like to see that come back.
So would I. To be honest with you, it's not gone. It's just under construction right now.
Oh, okay.
For right now, it's in the works, and it's just, you know, not there right now.
A lot of talented guys.
Oh, unbelievable talent. Unbelievable talent.
I don't know what's going on inside, but the chemistry seems really
Oh
good.
yeah, that's the thing, like in that locker room, we all like each other. And that's another thing, Jaden would, you know, if you go into a locker room, some locker rooms are divided because some guys have cliques and you're in one corner. And then you have other guys over here that are just like, whatever. And then we have the stuck-up guys. But in the Force 1 locker room, you didn't really have that. Everybody treated each other as equals. There wasn't someone that, oh, I'm better than you, so I should be here, and you're over here. No. And if it ever happened, they would get put in line and be like, listen, that's not how it works. So I loved working Force One. It was always a great locker room. Always has been. And hopefully it'll be coming back soon.
Well, Force One brought me back into wrestling. I stopped watching it for maybe 8 or 9 years, and watching the local show up close. Being up close was really the key to it, I think, and seeing the performers who really liked what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they were giving 100% every time we came out to the show. Just fell in love with it again. It was a lot of fun.
There's a lot of great promotions.
There are no, really.
October 13th, NWA Force One in Bayville, Lexington, New Jersey. Come check that, you'll have a blast. October 20th, the Sideshow Pro at the Star Gymnastics in. And then you got NWA DAWG Friday night, November 2nd.
Yes.
In beautiful rustic downtown Clayton, New Jersey. Tickets $15 for ringside, $10 for general admission. And you got those 3 shows. If you come watch that, you will love wrestling again. Each one's slightly a little different than the other, but it's great action all the way through from top to bottom.
Yeah.
You're going to see some of the brightest stars in independent wrestling and the National Wrestling Alliance and just wrestling in general. You're going to have a great time. You're going to love wrestling again. We'll help you find wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like we said, New Jersey's a hotbed for professional wrestling. And in fact, across the nation, if you go to the local shows, I'm sure you'll find something interesting. But that's about all the time we have.